Hello friends, let's see another pattern in this video. On the first line we want to print 1 once. On the second line we want to print 2 twice. On the third line we want to print 3 thrice. If you can make it general, on the xth line, if you call line number as x, we want to print x times. Okay, keep x as 4 here. Imagine x is 4 here on this line. If you imagine that x is 4, then we are printing x, value of x how many times? 4 times. That is, we are printing x times, isn't it? Keeping this in mind, now let's see how this program works. Let's ask the value of n. Suppose n is 5. So the last line should be 5 printed 5 times. But we really don't know what n is going to be. N will be entered by the operator. If n is 10, then 10 should be printed 10 times on the last line. Okay, so n is 5. Now if you run down this loop, x begins with 1 and goes up to 5, isn't it? X will count 1, then 2, then 3 and finally 5. So keep x as 1. Okay, let's do rough work. X is 1 right now. Okay, when x is 1, 1 is less than or equal to 5, value of n. So very true condition. So let's come in this for loop. There is another for loop written. What will y count from? You see, y will run down from 1 to x, isn't it? But x is 1. So y will run from 1 to 1. That means y counts only once, 1 to 1. So this loop is going to run only once. And what is this loop doing? You know, it is printing the value of x in %3D format. So x is 1, so it is going to print 1. But how many times it will print 1? Only once. I hope you understood it. It will print 1 value of x only once because y is counting from 1 to 1. X is 1, so only once it repeats. Okay, let's break this loop. Now new line will be produced. So cursor is on the second line. Okay, no values are yet printed. Imagine nothing is there over here. Okay, now new line is printed. Now x becomes 2, right? When x becomes 2, the inner loop counts from 1 to 2 because x is 2. 1 to 2 means this loop will repeat 2 times. First time when y is 1, next time when y is 2 and then it will break. But it repeats 2 times, but every time it repeats, you know, it prints x. It doesn't print y, it prints x. So now at the moment x is 2, you remember, this outer loop had made x equal to 2. Now y is counting from 1 to 2, 2 times it repeats and it prints x only. So 2 gets printed, 2 gets printed. This 2 will get printed 2 times because y is running from 1 to 2. Okay, then new line will bring the cursor to the third line. Okay, let's make one more last final repetition. X becomes 3. When x becomes 3, y runs down from 1 to 3. 1 to x. So 3 times this loop will repeat, but every time it repeats it prints x. You know that x has become 3 now. So when y is 1, the loop continues, it prints 3. Then y is 2, it prints 3. Then y is 3, it prints 3 and then the inner loop breaks. So 3 has got printed 3 times and then the new line. Obviously this loop goes on. What will happen when x is finally 5? When x is 5, y will run down from 1 to 5. So it repeats 5 times and every time it repeats, it prints x. But x is 5, so 5 will be printed 5 times. I hope you got that. Thank you very much.